Hello everybody, I'm going to make a short video on Matic. I've not made a video on Matic for, well, I've neglected it for a while. We made a video, I say we, the royal we, me, I made a video maybe about a week ago saying that my entry point for Matic would be around 1.2 cent. And where did we reach this bottom? Basically 1.2 cent, just below. So we ticked a wick below there and we bounced 1.2 cent. So the reason I'm bringing this to your attention is because I like Matic. I've always liked Matic. We trade Matic. It's not that I believe in the token or the project or anything like that. I like this chart. This chart is as messy as it looks. There is method within this madness. Okay, now the problem I've got obviously is that we have had our bounce, and the bounce has been, for me, sold. So I bought this bounce and sold it. Basically it doesn't look good from here, so that's not the end of the world, but it doesn't look great still. And the reason for it is that, look at these moving averages. Okay, death cross here, we're playing out this death cross. Let's measure that death cross out from the bottom of the death cross to where we are there. So that's 28%. So it's you could say that, okay, that's significant and that's appropriate for a death cross. Generally you're looking at around about between 25 to 35%, so we're in the middle of that range there. But personally I think that Matic wants to come back down to that level, that 1.2 cent again, and test it. And for that reason we're going to put in a little white line here to show the 1.2 cent area and how significant it basically is. So here we go. Let's have a look back in time at 1.2 cent, shall we? So when we had our parabolic top here, we came back down, and the first area that we kind of really bottomed around, it was 1.2 cent. We did break all the way down to 1 cent or just below 1 cent, which is what I think is kind of on the cards. It's not set in stone, but with the moving averages and the way that they're looking, it does look like it is very possible that we will see 1 cent Matic. But for the moment, the 1.2 cent area, when we broke above it, launched from it, came back down to tested it a second time, basically danced around it here, and then broke back down to it. And where did we end up? 1 cent. Now when we got to that 1 cent level, we did a really big rally here, and again, anywhere above 1 cent to 1.2 cent is really big. 75% rally there. And this is where we started to get really interested with it, because this rally, what it did for us is it actually moved us above the green 50 exponential moving average, which is basically where it started to reaccumulate. It stayed above here from this wick forward all the way to this point where we basically got a golden cross. I remember on this we had a golden cross before on Satoshis. Don't think we're going to be getting a golden cross on Satoshis anytime soon with Matic, but there was a few indicators around this level that told us that there was going to be some big moves. And look at what happened on this. So we reaccumulated all around this time here. This took a while. It took quite a while actually. It's all the time it took 44 days, so about a month and a half. It reaccumulated around that level, and then when it finally did break down, and this is an interesting time for Matic, because what happened is that Bitcoin was consolidating, Bitcoin was coming down, and then Bitcoin had a big crash, and this is what brought us down to the 1.2 cent mark where we basically rallied. And this was basically an epic rally. So the 1.2 cent all the way to the top here, we were talking 252% move from just that 1.2 cent level. And look, when we broke down beneath, we had that significant massive crash. And just for the record, you know, me and the guys on the Telegram and girls, we got out of the top. So just to put it out there. But anyway, we crashed, and then just even if you were to buy this wick down at the 1.2 cent level or just below, we're talking a 50% move in what would have been like a few hours. Came all the way down to test 1.2 cent, rallied again, and that's a 70% move there. So 1.2 cent is pretty important for Matic, which is why I felt like it was appropriate to put a buy order in at 1.2 cent. And now I'm 10% up, and I've sold, because the moving averages and everything about this chart looks terrible. It looks really bad. It looks like it wants to come back down further, and to be honest with you, it definitely will, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to do anything from that level. It's just, this is the obvious place to have bought it from. So if you did buy it at 1.2 cent, you know, I'm not telling you what to do with your money, but I would suggest you consider selling and waiting to buy back down again at that 1.2 cent or the 1 cent. But again, I'm not a financial advisor, so this isn't financial advice, but I will give you some advice. I trade on Bityard, by the way, and Bityard are introducing a copy trader system, and I'm not saying copy my trades, but there are other people out there with over 95% success rate that you can copy. And so if you're not into margin trading yourself and don't have a good success rate, for instance, you don't really need it anymore. You can just copy some of these pro traders. So there's a link in the description below. And like I say, I'm not asking you to copy me, but I'm just putting it out there. There's some decent money to be made there from copying some of these top dogs. Anyway, that is Matic for the moment. It looks like it wants to retrace and come back down to the 1.2 cent mark, and it would not surprise me in any way if we actually came down to 1 cent. Now if 1 cent breaks down, it would be pretty nasty, because in that big market dump that we had, where everything found essentially extreme lows, we did come down to 0.006 of a cent, so just over half of a cent, and that was significant. And so basically, if we do continue to break down, and we break down beneath 1 cent, then yes, we will have that level at the forefront of our mind. That level could be reached again, but if it were to be reached again, I will be buying it. Definitely will be buying it. This is a volatile crypto, and like I say, I'm not one of these people that knows much about what the projects do or the long-term projection. I like to catch moves, and this one likes to move. I'm not saying this is going to have an all-time high or anything, but what it will do will have significant bounces from these support levels. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice evening. Take it easy.